Hey. Hey, look at me.
Hey.
It's funny how karma works.
Honestly, this happens every time.
We're back on the Cherado show right
I
here
lost.
on WLBS ListenVisionLive.com.
He couldn't even stay away. I couldn't
Call
last
us
10 minutes.
202-758-8607. Hit us up on social media at Cherado. We're talking about how social media and texting are destroying relationships.
Because it might get you catfished.
So in that video, Grindstone, can you relate to the guy and the clicking and the texting and the, you know?
I mean, I think that guy did way more than I would ever do. But I've been around females who act that way.
Well, articulate. No, what do you mean, act what way?
I mean, he was always, like, he was looking for the next best thing on his phone, but he was always on his phone and frustrated the girl.
Well, they were both always on the phone, equally, no?
But then she had to come see him without her phone.
Well, that's
Wait,
'cause
are you
she
talking about the
started
video or are you talking about
clicking.
real life?
The video.
Yeah, that's because she started clicking on his likes, like
Yeah.
we were discussing before. So if
Yeah,
you're, if
but
you're
that's
gonna be
never
nosy
happened.
like
That's
that-
never happened to me though. But I mean, if you look in the dirty clothes, you might find some dirty clothes.
I think
I
men-
definitely have seen where like I dated someone who was so into everything else and like engaging with people online that it was like, well, damn, like how much more do you have to do? Like I mean, it's one thing to be like, okay, well, I don't really want all my business out there like that, but it's another thing to just keep trying to create a persona consistently. Okay, well, if that's who you are, then cool. But if you're not really that person, then why do you have to do so much to create this person?
Well, let me ask you this: is there a possibility that this same person would be like a cheater or someone who's out doing the most in the streets if they weren't doing that on social media? What I mean is, does social media sometimes provide a safe way for a flirt or a cheater to express that without actually violating the relationship?
I don't
Ooh,
think
that's a
this-
new concept.
I don't think this
I don't
person
know.
necessarily.
It was just an idea.
This person, I don't think necessarily had the time to full. I mean, I shouldn't say had the time because if you want to do what you do, you're gonna do it. You're gonna find a way.
On
to
the
do
way
it.
home,
But at the end of the day,
Why
I
do you-
think that they were more into the attention of it than the actual like pursuit. Like they really liked the attention. They liked the attention. It was easy. I mean, it's easy. It's easy for you to go online and be like, I can meet 10 dudes in the next
Meet.
half an hour
That's
online and be like, hey, what's up? Let's hook up tonight. Let's hang out. Like it's not hard, especially not
it's so
for-
We
corny.
should do an
though.
experiment where you do that, right? Like,
No, thank you.
where you DM a dude.
Well, y'all know how I feel. Real ninjas don't have social media.
What do you mean
A
don't
real
have?
ninja
They
don't have it?
No.
Everyone
because-
has
It depends
it.
on what you do with your life,
No.
though.
What do you mean
No,
real? Because
let's-
I see guns and everything on Instagram. Thugs got
That's not
Instagram
what I
now.
mean.
Dogs got social media.
Those who are out there playing the field,
Mm-hmm.
they don't want to be connected, so they don't want to be tagged. They don't want to be connected.
Oh,
so I'm not
okay.
talking
That's
for
privacy
business.
settings though. That's easy.
No,
Nah,
I think
but
she
it's-
means that someone who's really out there
Nah.
doing
Can't nobody
dirt.
screen-
You
Screenshot
can go
you.
and Google someone, even though they haven't been tagged, and you can still find stuff out about
You
them.
can't find Nathan about me.
It depends on their privacy settings though.
No.
Those privacy settings are real, especially
Okay,
on
well,
Facebook.
But
they
somebody could
fail.
always
And you know
screenshot.
I'm the number one detective.
Yeah, a
But
lot
this-
of,
Carmen San Diego.
But this is what happens. You never know which picture of yours or whatever gets screenshotted. You don't ever know that.
You
That's
don't.
true.
And somebody's having laying in the cut.
Reposted.
celebrities
Right.
are constantly getting
I mean-
screenshotted
Yeah.
of things that they
I was
delete.
told I was
Right.
having midnight swims, so and it was never midnight.
Of a
It
picture
was
on
only
the
10
internet.
o'clock.
Yes.
We were there.
Lord have mercy. Yes.
And nobody was tagged on that.
I just think it's interesting. People. I digress. What are we talking about? Okay, next.
Well, let's get into ways social media texting can negatively affect a relationship. So part of that, of course, includes couples who lose their connection because they're constantly on their phone.
Which we talked
and
about,
I know,
yeah.
like, in some examples of that, not when you're in bed, even as a couple, and you guys are, you both
That
have
shit
your
is
phones
lame as hell.
on
How is
each
that
side
different
of the
from each
bed.
person reading? If each person has a book and you're in bed together.
Because
It just,
you know what I
You're not
thought
connecting
about
to
that.
anybody else. You're connecting to the text.
What if you're just
and
reading an
multiple
article on the
people
phone?
and multiple people. No, but we're talking about social media and texting specifically.
Like, what if
not
you're
just
Evolve
reading.
phone owner?
Yeah.
Well, I mean-
which means you can be texting the next chick while your chick is right next to you, or
Having a
vice
chat.
versa. Like you're getting your flirt on while you're next to your boo.
That's
That
not
happens,
what's
too.
good.
No,
Yep.
but
It
it's
happens a
happening
lot.
all the time. So you're disengaged. The connection is lost. You're not connecting. I mean,
that's terrible.
Well, that's
So-
part of why I personally like. It's not necessarily social media, but like I don't believe in TVs in a shared bedroom because I feel like people do the same
I
thing with
feel that.
television. Like,
yeah.
no, like reading is one thing
Right.
because it's just like a connection to what a book. Like to me, a book is
And then
not,
y'all gonna come up off of it with some new information for one
Well,
another.
if the TV plays
Maybe.
erotica,
That's still,
maybe if the TV
Well, we
has
can
some
watch that on our phones
erotica.
together.
I like that word, erotica.
That's like a
so
70s
but
word.
that's still
Yeah.
different. I mean,
Yeah.
the whole reading a book thing. I mean, I know older men who are totally annoyed with their wives for reading a book in bed all the time because it's taking away from their intimacy on many levels. So the book may be low at the totem pole, but then we go to the TV, then we go to the text message, then we go to social media.
And then one thing that can be very annoying is when somebody brings up something about something on social media and then the other person does not give a fuck. And it's not like it's something that even matters. Like it might be somebody, did you see so-and-so acting silly? They was tripping. But then it's like, bitch, we here, right now.
This
like,
is real life. Like,
Yeah,
what does-
like get up out of that. Leave that over there.
Until
Pretty
you're the
please.
person doing the same
Right.
thing.
Until I'm the person doing the same
Yeah.
thing. I don't do that though.
Yeah, you do.
Well, I definitely found out that someone is that I was dating at one point was living with the woman on social media. I mean, I found out.
Oh, you
just-
did some investigative journalism.
Yeah, that actually goes into the next one, which is social media detectives.
Ooh, Urbanista, this is all you, boo.
I'm just saying, like,
social media detective.
only when necessary. Like, I'm very much the type of person where I'll believe you to a fault, and then if I really don't know, all I need is a couple little pieces of information to come to my conclusion.
Is that what we're calling it today? A couple?
A couple pieces. Does
Couple
that
little
include
pieces.
spending
Right.
2 days straight staring into a computer,
No, it doesn't work like
looking
that.
at LinkedIn
It don't
pages and
work
all
like
type of
that.
extra
It
things?
don't work like that because honestly, it's so funny because number one, men are particularly sloppy and messy, and they act like they're not, but they really do a lot of things that are publicly like, especially social media. They don't even really think about like, oh well, I did this, I did that, and I did this and I did that, and I put it out there, and then the girl who it's about also happened to favorite it or retweet it or like it consistently. So I don't actually have to do much lurking. I just look
You
at
look
the
at her
page.
page.
No, I look at his page and like, oh, this same person. Okay, you're ranting. This one female in particular is retweeting or liking each one of your rants.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Or look at his boys page, because this is a little cheat. Sometimes like a dude might feel loose and take a picture but not post it himself, but be on his boys page with, hugged up with whomever.
Well,
You can get caught like that,
This is
too.
what's going on right here, right now.
We're all getting caught tonight.
No. What we're doing is police work. And this is like when I first got into social media, I was like, man, this seems like a police trap. Like I was like, this seems like a Fed situation where instead of like having somebody in a room with a light and asking them questions for 12 hours, they're gonna allow people to just give up their own information, and then you'll be able to like kind of quarter this person and or triangulate and find out exactly where they are, what they've been doing, who they're associated with. So before I got on social media, I tried to understand that angle and didn't want to get played by it, so I figured out how to play it. And not enough people do it, and they're totally 100% played by it.
What do you mean you figured out how to play it? How you play it?
You rarely see me on social media.
See you.
Me.
Oh, you see that.
Yeah, exactly.
Your
right.
brand.
But we see that.
That's you, though.
It's cool. Right, no, that's cool, but I don't do anything on social media that I'll later
He's
regret.
not gonna post any pics with no chicks. Like he's not going.
You ain't gonna
to
see me in no women. You ain't gonna see me in no money. You're not gonna see me like really losing myself. Like none of that stuff on social media. Like I have a mental.
People, though, that's kind of
No.
Absolutely not.
People
No.
blast.
professional.
No.
That's not even most
There's
people.
a lot
I
of professionals that post their personal lives on social media, depending on what stage in their personal life. You particularly are a professional. You've posted pictures when you had a man on social media. I mean,
did.
I posted pictures when I was married. Like there are people who will do things in certain situations, but when they just don't want people tapped into
But do you
that
have to
part of
really
their
post a
lives.
picture with someone for other people to know that you're with someone?
I'm saying
Well,
what you say.
It certainly tells the world a lot.
Forget
in
what,
this
the,
day
what
and age.
forget about other people. One thing I will say, dudes, this is a message to dudes. It is not a good look to have a social media page full of you and pictures with various women, even if they're your friends or family members. The perception is that you think that that's cool. And I learned the hard way because I had a,
I don't think it's anything wrong with that.
if you like a dude and you look at his social media and you look through his pictures and it's all him with just women at parties, at different events. It's not.
If I met someone, and
I don't think
saw
it's a good
that,
look.
I don't think it's anything wrong with different women. I think it would be more so like if it's the same woman and you're telling me you're single, but you have a whole 25, 30 pictures with the same chick.
So you're not gonna at any point think he just may be a hoe. Like
I
if
mean-
he just had mad bitches.
Yeah,
on his page.
No, because I would think that the people that he posted.
Urbanista.
No,
I think it's shallow to have
no,
that.
because I think that the women I would personally think that if someone is gonna put a picture up with a woman on social media, they must have some type of meaning. And if it's more than one woman, it can't just be, I put pictures up with Grindstone before and videos, everything.
Yeah, but that's different because everybody knows we're on the show together. So
No.
us having pictures is like, okay, you can tell a story behind it.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's not someone who's doing this for a living or whatever, and they just have random pictures with different women on a daily, weekly basis, you are probably gonna feel, especially you, are gonna feel some kind of way.
I have pictures with all my good guy friends.
But see, this is the whole thing.
I
Like,
think it's with those
at what
social
time at what point and how did we get tricked out of a right to ourselves?
Meaning,
Like, people feel obligated to share everything that they're. Hey, I'm waking up. Man, look at all this traffic on my way to work.
because you started
at work,
liking it. That's
da-da-da-da-da.
why you started liking it, and now it's okay.
That's what I'm saying. It's a
So
police
what are
trap.
some of the other things? What
Even
are some of the
a
other things
like,
we get to this list
A
about?
detective is the word you use.
And that's what was number
I think
2.
people are lonely
And they're lonely and scared.
and scared.
So number 3
And
off
cold
this
and
list
hungry.
was seeing before hearing. Have you ever gotten into an argument with your lover because he or she didn't answer your text, but you saw him or her liking something on Instagram? That's
Yes.
pretty interesting.
Wow.
Because
Like, I know you got your
think-
phone. I know you got your phone.
But you can say the same thing in friendships as well. Like
You
you
can.
texted somebody and then you woke up and you were in some kind of, situation, maybe argument, whatever. And they're on there posting pics, liking stuff, but they're
Posting
not
statuses,
they're not
updates.
texting you back.
Well, you
But see,
gotta
my-
humble yourself.
My
man.
favorite thing, and this is a little game for you.
Okay.
Oh, so thank you so much.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you,
Church.
sir.
So see, like I'm not too sure if I remember women's. No. Actually, I have had women say something similar. Like, you posted. I see you posting on whatever, and you're here and there, and then I hit them with, I'm not even in charge of my social media, bitch.
But is that true?
It is true.
He got a staff, son.
Oh my God.
I mean, he
Yeah.
got
Not
one
even gonna
person.
call
He
you
got
out
one
right
person.
now.
He got one person.
Immediately.
He got
Deal
one
with
person.
that.
I'm just gonna hold my tongue. What's number 4?
Deal with
Public
that.
With the
versus
numbers.
private. Not every couple. This is a good one. Not every couple is on the same wavelength when it comes to how much they want to post and want the world to know about their relationship, that's a big one because you can have one person who is all up in social media and then the other person who doesn't want anything posted whatsoever. So, like, how do you come to a happy balance in that
You
situation?
talk.
Yeah.
You have a
They're
conversation.
texting. They
Nah,
didn't get to that. They don't
I
You
know
know
talk.
what? This is what you should do, and this is what this is my voyeuristic stalker side, right? I'll see, like, I'll be looking at a chick and she's all in love, right? And then, I'm not checking in for a minute, but I'm just looking. I don't even know the chick. Like, somebody might be following, right? And then later on, she had got all these memes and all this business talking about how being single is whatever.
best.
It's the best thing in the world. And then so I got to backtrack and see where it all went wrong.
You know what I used to do? I used
And
to
social
bitch you.
media stalking.
But I'm just saying, like,
I think there's a way to acknowledge without having to be very like for example, I think about my brother and his wife. Like, they don't have any pictures of each other like together on social media. Like, no wedding pictures, no, even their kids, like, no pictures at all. But if you go to his page, it says he's married. It doesn't say who he's married to. It doesn't say,
Are they friends on social media? On
yeah,
Facebook?
they're friends. But I mean, our last name is so common. I mean, if you went to his page right now and try to scroll through, if you don't know him, you wouldn't know that's his wife, unless you went to her page maybe and put two and two together. But they don't have that linking element unless you actually took the time to really sort.
So what do you think about that?
I feel like that's fine. That's what they agree upon.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
I think it's a little weird.
Yeah, that's a little strange to me because even though we don't have to be all up in each other's space, like I would like my husband to acknowledge the fact that I'm his wife publicly if he's gonna have a social media presence. If he's not,
especially when social media is used so
it
often.
doesn't mean he has to post pictures of us together every day.
He says things sometimes where it'll be like my statuses like my wife and I or da 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 da, and he says things about them having children, but he doesn't post any pictures and there's no link between the two. But you never know anybody's relationships from all intents and purposes. Everything that works for them.
Now, who's the dude who's that guy on Power, the main character?
Omari Hardwick.
His sex.
Right.
Yes, God.
All right, so people
He
were
is
just
handsome.
All right.
It's okay. It's okay to say that he's handsome.
This was about something that happened to him this week. It might have been last week. It was
What
early in the week.
happened to my boo?
Your boo. That is like
Okay. Take it.
People were talking about his wife.
Yeah.
Right. They're talking
about how unattractive she is.
I think she's all right.
Right. But this is the whole thing.
They're saying in comparison.
I think she look all right.
Yeah.
I mean, she ain't nothing wrong with her.
That's like the light skinned guy with the Jesse guy. The people always talk about his.
No,
guy.
but look, he's famous, right? So he has to now. He's dealing with, I guess, at some point in his home, maybe in his heart, not at home. But there was a need for him to come out in public and say to the people who were responding negatively to the pictures about his wife.
That's his boo.
Okay, right, and it's because he's famous that people get a chance to have. It's because he's famous that the people have a chance to take a shot at his household, right? But if you're not famous, why are you even opening yourself up to people allowing to have any kind of
why?
Energy on your life?
Because you want to be famous. Because you think that social media provides that avenue for fame. It's this like amateur fame that people think they have with Instagram. Like, oh, I have 5,000 followers.
That's why
I'm
people
somebody.
buy followers.
And then it's like, look at my wife, look at my family. Hey, don't talk about my family.
Yeah.
All right, well, nigga, why are you even on the joint? Why are you even showing your whole clique?
The best is the comments. Hey, come see me then, player. Come see me then. It's my people leave their address.
I haven't seen anything like that.
I love reading comments. That's one of my
comments
favorite
is the only.
yeah.
On the list number 5,
the fine line. A simple hello from an old friend or ex can easily turn into a deeper conversation or plans to hook up online. It's important to maintain appropriate boundaries. Oh, boundaries.
It happens all the time.
Where they do that at?
I think it's just easy. It's more easy. Like you might have had a friend who was somebody you dated years ago, and not even be thinking about them, not even be checking for them, nothing, and they just keep hitting your inbox to the point you have to block them. Like, hey, I'm not interested in you. Like, I'm glad you're doing well. It's great, but some people are so persistent.
Unless you are.
I mean, I've blocked people before, like a lot of people.
Just 2 people in my life.
I blocked a lot of people.
I'll let them live. Fuck it.
Yeah, the only time that really bothers you though is when you're not interested in the other person. But perhaps that leads into, a whole nother aspect of things when you might be there minding your own business, and then an old boo hits you up on Facebook or Instagram or whatever.
It happens.
And now there's chemistry. There's old chemistry rekindled. And now what you gonna do? Your ass should have stayed off social media.
You're gonna be an adult and you're gonna keep it moving.
Because how you
you were having a bad night, Kevin.
Back to the devil.
Bad
Back to the devil's advocacy.
But how you feel in 2012 might not be how you feel in 2016. And
but
then
it might be.
But then you've done all this foolishness online and you can't take it back.
And now you got caught.
Yeah, it's all bad. So you
now
got
there's a text stream on Facebook.
All that.
So that
Group
goes back
chatting.
into the idea too, like as far as the definition of cheating for that couple. Like maybe that couple doesn't feel like talking trash on Facebook chat, and as long as you're not seeing them or smashing them or nothing like that, they might feel like that's fine. You're just talking trash. Where someone else like me, I ain't having it.
So if you're with a guy and one of his exes on Facebook hits his page and says, "Hey, I'm coming back to the city. Long time no see. We should get coffee," and he says, "Oh, sounds great. We'll talk later." but with no real intention of seeing her, but just says, yeah, okay, cool. Like, you know how people say that to blow people off or to be nice. Would you automatically assume that there's something wrong, and would it be an issue, or would you kind of?
No, my assumption would be if it was presented to me.
You found it. You
found
saw it.
and
It happened in real time.
I would ask him, like, what's up with this?
Are you gonna
Anybody
see her?
ask me about anything on social media, it would be like, oh, like that would automatically like put somebody on the
A different category.
I've gone,
Yeah.
I've gone on the computer, like a mutual computer, and I just go to get on Facebook, and you know how if you don't log out,
Yeah.
put it out.
And then what do you do then? Do you immediately log out and go to your page, or do you peruse?
If I read it,
You
Oh, okay.
peruse.
if I read it, no, not all the time, but if I read it,
Some of the time.
I have. I'm not gonna say I have done that
So,
before.
so like back in the day, this is the equivalent of somebody's diary being open, and do you close the diary and
Yeah,
close
I've
the
never
drawer?
You don't read
I
a person's
have seen
diary.
it. I've seen it presented in front of me, and I've
never done that.
I've said, okay, you never seen any text messages or anything and read through them.
On Facebook or
No, not
Instagram
necessarily
or
in general.
anything?
Like something that's presented in front of your face. I mean,
The only time I've done that is when it was given to me.
Like, look at
Then
it.
I was like, okay, well.
But you have no context when you open someone's
I didn't
page. You know what I
necessarily
mean?
open it. I've had it where it's been on the screen. Like I just went to Facebook. I swear on everything.
I didn't rob him. The money fell in my hand. And I mean, I saw the money. I had the money. I walked
in
off.
particular cases, but you do generally
In
believe
box.
in looking through somebody's shit.
I would say I generally believe in it, but I say I have done it.
Oh, nice try.
It's the truth. It's the
So-
truth. It's something that I've tried not to do.
It's not the truth if you start off
So
saying.
one of my
"Hmm."
girlfriends said to me today something that applies to this situation, which I thought was interesting, and it's very basic, but I had to think about it a couple times. She was like, "No man wants to be your friend."
What?
No,
And
that's not
so-
true. A
No,
woman
no.
said that.
Yeah, a woman said that to me today, and I had to think about it because the whole premise behind it is that, you know, if somebody's hitting me up on social media from 10 years ago, are they truly trying to be my friend? Because wouldn't they have been my friend this whole time?
That's sexist,
Or-
first off. I mean, if anyone here is a
No, but
feminist,
it's
you
in
should
reverse.
disagree with that.
It's in reverse too. Like, no woman wants to be your friend. Like, it's across the board. It's not specific
I don't
to
agree with that.
a male-female relationship.
So we not friends?
Not really.
That's my friend. That's my friend.
Oh my god! I'm gonna write in
All
my
right, no, hold
journal
up. Now
tonight.
check this out. Okay, now, all right. So
Wait, she didn't even take that back or anything. She just said not really, and just moved on to the next part of the show.
Next
So now I
question.
know where I stand.
no, you know, some people feel like there's not room for being platonic, and I do not agree with that because, like, I've tried to cross that line with people who I thought were platonic just because I thought, shit, I'm a man, she's a woman. And then the shit was funny. It was like, oh, that's
Yeah,
right, we're
work
just
out.
friends. We're just friends.
Yeah.
But I've, you know, like, hey, you know, I've tried that shit. I mean,
Hey.
and then like, but I mean, some people you are just cool with because you might appreciate some cool shit about them.
Yeah.
And some people you might really, really like. But I'm just
So
I'm
you
just
might
saying,
hit them up 10 years later on
there are
Facebook.
variations. Like there's some people who I went to high school with who I'm totally cool with as friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not trying. I don't want that shit to be more than that. Like that's
Is that
not why I
because
would
they
talk to
look
them.
a certain way though?
Nah, it's because we were friends back then.
Yo, we're like elevated individuals. I don't know who you were talking to, but
I'm really surprised to hear that because
That
I
But
feel
I'm
person
saying
like
we were
based-
friends
Cherado,
back then.
you have male friends who you have no.
I didn't say I said this.
I didn't
said
say you
someone
did.
said
That was a
to
major
me.
cosign with a highlighter.
No,
Yeah.
no.
That's how I
I
took it as well.
thought, well, y'all can take it how you want to take it. I'm telling you how I'm telling you.
You know this on
So-
video, so we can rewind it.
You can rewind all day. What I'm saying is, I thought it was an interesting perspective. Now, clearly, I'm friends with both of y'all, so and we have a platonic relationship.
Look, yes, you made
I was
it.
worried.
Behind the curtains, nothing was going on before the show. But I'm just saying, I thought that was an interesting perspective because a lot of times people do think that. Like, you know, why is somebody hitting you up from the past trying to reconnect with you? claiming friendship. Because if it was your friend, then why wasn't he or she?
Maybe they were in
Sometimes
jail.
Somebody who's actually from your past that you've dated, they just broke up with someone and they're like trying to scroll through their Rolodex in their mind, like, well, who do I haven't talked to in a long time that I really liked or I really loved and I messed up and maybe I might have a chance now because I'm single. And then they send you that, hey,
the jump off
that,
section.
What's up?
Yeah,
How you
yeah.
been?
And that, yeah.
And touch, and you look at your phone like, Ninja, I ain't talked to you in 5 years. What? And you realize, oh, relationship status changed. Oh, they just recently
But
single.
it may be somebody that you didn't have a relationship with that you didn't know that liked you is now coming at you like, oh, okay, well, now I'm single. I see her on Facebook, Instagram,
She look good.
whatever. She's looking cute.
This is the thing about it. A man cannot fuck everybody. And so, like,
Really?
It's true.
I didn't know
We
that.
tried.
Newsflash.
So what happens? You end up saying, you know what? It's more energy than it's worth to spread myself that thin. So then you'd be like, man, that person's cool for that reason. That person's cool for that reason. And then you are not trying to hit.
And then
everything
another
all the
thing
time.
that I think
if
happens.
you're capable, if you're a
I think
capable man.
Another thing that happens to men, at least mature men, we turn creepy, and I don't mean creepy in a bad way. So, you get into a relationship, you get serious, you get more serious about life. You're not out chasing tail, and then you just start looking. You just start looking at women. You know what I mean? You're not chasing them. You just be like, okay, boy, I would have just woo if I could woo, and that's it. And now social media allows you to scroll through women and say, oh, she's fine.
Just beauty of the week every day.
And you keep it moving. For some people can do that. Obviously, that's not every guy. It takes a level. I know it doesn't sound like it, but it takes a level of maturity to be able to be a creep.
So for all y'all out there chasing tail, sipping ale, keep it up.
Chasing
We'll be
these
right
IP models.
back on the
Graduate
Ask
to creep
Cherado
status.
Show. Right back.
Me too.
Whether you're interested in buying or selling a home, there's no bigger decision than choosing the person who will represent you during the transaction. A qualified, experienced real estate